So we're standing here in front of AG40XF4, but we're going to talk about 40XF1 as well at the same time. So obviously the 40XF4 is the new launch. We're going to have this in limited availability for 2024. We're really just kind of trying to test it to see where it fits. Obviously the maturity is a bit of a concern for a lot of people. Once you start putting a 4 in front of a bean, a lot of people all of a sudden just lose interest. But for the most part, we're sticking with 40XF1s, and for the past several years, 40XF1 have had broad acre adaptability. They do perform well in a high yield environment. Sometimes they might lean a little bit more than what somebody might want them to on a darker piece of ground. So we have a tendency to put the 40XF1s more so on that lighter acre. They've got tremendous stress tolerance. They still hold that height under stress and can shade the rows really well. So that's predominantly how we've used 40XF1. Again, we're looking at 40XF4 as a potential replacement. To that, to see what, do they bring us some elevated yield? Agronomically, where do they stack up? They look a little bit the same in most of the agronomics. One concern we have here is they do get a little bit taller and maybe lean just a little bit more than 40XF1s do. So we definitely want to keep this thing on more of that lighter ground to try and maybe manage the planting populations to try to help manage its height.
40XF1s, I think, actually have stood better on prairie soils than I expected them to when they came out. So we've always kind of cautioned people on standability on 40XF1, and it hasn't really been as much of an issue as we anticipated. This variety is 1 score weaker on standability than 40XF1 is, so that is a concern, as Chris noted. And really, up until 2022, 40XF1 had been the highest yielding soybean that we had tested across central Illinois. So it had shown some really, really strong performance. And until products like 38XF3 and 39XF3 came along, we had positioned 40XF1 as that high yield bean for us. So I think there's still a place for that bean in the lineup, but we do get pretty congested here in the early 4s, late 3s with 2 3/8s, a 3/9, and 2 4/0s. And that's just probably more products than we can manage at that maturity, unless you like to plant a lot of full season beans, and then there's your package right there.
Correct.